that somebody else that gets bullied has no feelings. Everybody has feelings. And everybody is deserving of respect. Everybody. Bullying is an injustice, and it's cruel. And we're hearing about so many young people that have taken their own lives because they found that cruelty so difficult to bear up under. We look at the injustice of destroying people's good name or their reputation. That's an injustice. Listen to the political ads. I'm looking for candidates. I want to know what they're proposing, what they're pledging to accomplish. What are we hearing so much of? How rotten their opponent is. How do you make a decision with that information? It's an injustice to take away somebody's good name. We look at corruption, we look at greed, we look at abuse. Those are injustices. We look at prejudice and the barriers that prejudice builds that prevent us from living together as God's family, as one family in the Lord. I was reading about an African-American family in the 1950s in the South. They were driving along the highway and decided to take a rest break. There was a park. Got out of the car, and the two little girls went running towards the swing set. They couldn't read the sign that said, "For whites only." And their dad called them back. And the girls were crying because they couldn't play on the swing set. It was their first experience of racism. And that dad needed to explain to his two daughters what his mother had explained to him. And he put it this way. He said, "You two girls are somebody. And you are so important that it takes the governor and the lieutenant governor and the entire police force to keep you from swinging on those swings." And then another widow, a persevering widow named Rosa Parks, would come along and open the gates of the civil rights movement wide open. And because of what she did and her perseverance and those who worked with her, justice began to be done. And the signs were taken down. And the presence of God was felt. This is a little different twist with this parable and its application. Seeing God not so much as the judge, and we being the widows, and we need to pray constantly and not grow weary, but seeing this time God as the widow, and we working with God, perseveringly, even in the face of the injustice of the world, working for justice with constancy. Was that widow alone when she came to that unjust judge? I think not. After all, she has all of us in her company. And what do? We take the scriptures to heart when Jesus says, "Pray constantly and don't grow weary." Or when St. Paul says in the second lesson today to Timothy, Preach the word, whether convenient or inconvenient. Or in that song that we sing, take the word of God with you as you go. Or in the last line that you'll hear in today's Mass, go in peace to do what? To love and to serve the Lord.